The rural airstrips are uncontrolled. They're mainly not fenced or anything like that.
Now at 6, that new perspective on remote runway challenges. We look at what's next after a plane crash near Nanwalek earlier this week.
In shock from many across Alaska, one of the state's only youth mental health crisis centers will soon close. I'll tell you why and what's next.
It's not infrequent that Gina Ridge will be brown in the morning, and then by late afternoon, it's all green.
Signs of Alaska summer springing up. University of Alaska Fairbanks scientist explains the annual green up.
And our April showers will soon become May showers for some. I'll let you know where rain is likely here over the next week.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Good evening. Investigators are still working on a plan to revive and retrieve that wreckage from a plane crash that killed 2 people after it came in for a landing in the village of Nanwalek.
The NTSB says the Smoky Bay airplane crash that happened on Monday after the pilot aborted the landing for another go-around was possibly to avoid a loose dog on the runway.
Now, what you're seeing here in this video that's just behind us, this was video taken weeks before the crash. The pilot, though, is Daniel Butler. Investigators say that he died Monday along with passenger Jenny Irene Miller. It's a first-person perspective of landing on a small village airstrip. And pilots tell us rural airports presents all kinds of challenges, but the DOT says that Nanwalek was a particular one.
The airstrip is next to the water where storms have eroded the runway away to the point where a DOT spokesperson says it's one of the shortest runways in the state.
There was an effort to repair the runway back in 2004, and then we had a major storm in 2005 that came through and undid all that work. And so the runway's been shortened by 1,000 feet for that reason.
The DOT has plans to move the Nanwalek Airport further inland, but says that project is still several years away.
And that area is seeing another round of heavy rain moving in tonight.
And Melissa Fry joins us from the Weather Center with the latest on this next storm. Melissa.
Yeah, we've been seeing ongoing rain showers pushing across the Kenai Peninsula, and we do have another round that's going to push in tomorrow, and that's going to spread across much of southern Alaska from southwest all the way into southeast. You can see the heavy rain that moved through earlier today, but as I zoom out, you can see a big band of moisture pushing into southeast. Very wet conditions for southeast and Prince William Sound overnight into tomorrow. And zooming out further, that is extending all the way down to near Hawaii. So do be prepared again for that rain to increase across southeast tomorrow, all the way up into Prince William Sound from Whittier down into Seward. We'll see that heavy rain showers for the Kenai Peninsula. Slight chance we get an isolated shower in Anchorage. But once we get into Friday, the center of that storm almost right on top of us, and that'll bring more scattered showers across most of South Central. And at that point, I do expect it to extend into the interior as well. Right now, we are seeing, again, the winds picking up a little bit in South Central. Those are going to increase here in Anchorage tonight. We'll see those wind gusts between 20 and 40 miles per hour over the next couple of hours, even a bit higher for those of you on the Anchorage hillside. And heading into tomorrow, temperatures in the low 50s, mostly cloudy in Anchorage. Again, a slight chance for a shower, still dry in Fairbanks. We will see that heavy rain, though, in Juneau and showers in Bethel. And I'll have a look at that full extended forecast here in a few minutes.
All right, Melissa, thank you very much. Well, crisis. That's how one representative describes the behavioral health situation in Alaska, and it's what the Providence Crisis Recovery Center, or the CRC, was built to prevent. We're learning today that the CRC is set to close in mid-May, citing the loss of federal grants and financial hardships in healthcare as a whole. Recent data from the CDC shows Alaska's rates of death by suicide are the highest in the nation. Now, one of the few centers providing for young Alaskans who are suicidal or in a mental health crisis is shutting its doors. Providence confirmed the funding was part of a long-standing grant for comprehensive behavioral health treatment and recovery, a grant they say is provided by the state with federal funding resources. They tell us that this was not a budget item passed by the legislature.
And what you don't want is a situation where, for a youth, their only options, if they're in a crisis situation, is to either go into a psychiatric ER bed or to be without their family for a year because they're at a residential facility. We need something in between, and facilities like the CRC, they're the only place that has been providing that in between for adolescents.
The closure of the facility reduces the options for youth who need mental health care. The Anchorage representative who we just heard from says that there aren't options comparable to CRC anywhere else in the state.
And we're now waiting to see if the Governor Dunleavy, will sign an education funding bill. It includes a $700 per student increase. The legislature passed House Bill 57 today, 31-8. It also includes school district cell phone requirements. The governor has expressed support for this bill after previously vetoing that version that contained a $1,000 per student funding increase. Now, the governor can sign the bill into law, leave it alone to become law, or veto it. The bill's final version and lawmaker reaction live right now on our website and mobile app.
Well, the family of an Anchorage 17-year-old police say was found dead in a car after being shot and killed continues pushing for answers.
I promise you this, justice will be served. I promise you.
Junior was taken too soon, but he's in heaven building our mission.
Family members identified him as Aaron John Edwards Jr. Police say they responded to a welfare check around 5:30 Sunday morning. Officers found Edwards' body in a car at the intersection in the Fairview neighborhood of East 13th Avenue and Carluck Street. Investigators call his death suspicious. The teen's family is currently raising funds to cover travel expenses to hopefully lay him to rest on his home reservation in Arizona. And if you know anything, please reach out to police.
A local nonprofit that aims to help small businesses is losing its federal funding. The Anchorage Community Land Trust says that it received a letter from the Cook Inlet Tribal Council saying its grants from the U.S. Department of Commerce Minority Business Development Agency were terminated earlier this month. Georgina Fernandez has the impacts.
And these little doilies, they cost a fortune, but they're very important to have.
If there is one thing that Eva Perry knows,
they are my babies.
It's her way around a cupcake.
We will have chocolate because there are a lot of chocolate lovers out there.
In the sweet tooth industry that she has spent the last 13 years cultivating here in Mountain View.
We took our retirement, our savings, and felt that it was our time.
Taking their savings and Eva's childhood passion.
But when I was about 9 years old, my mom gave me Easy Bake Oven.
And moving it.
They come from the oven to here.
Into an actual kitchen.
When God gives a vision, He will make the provisions.
One of those provisions for her coming in the form of the Anchorage Community Land Trust, a nonprofit focusing on small business development.
When I was wanting to, do an addition, is when they came in with some financial support and also just publicity.
But people who are looking for that kind of help in the future may not get it after the ACLT lost federal funding this month.
Essentially what that termination does is cut off at the knees our support programs for small businesses and entrepreneurs, folks who are working towards opening the business of their dreams in their neighborhood.
Making it now, the nonprofit says, harder for small businesses to thrive in Alaska and potentially impacting the local economy.
It's a harder environment. It's a harder road. It's a harder road on every front.
And while ACLT says its program is now in jeopardy, Perry is holding on to faith.
Based on what the organization stands for, when one door closes, another door will open.
That the faith and support that got her here.
In some way, their business will survive.
Will also pave a way for ACLT. Georgina Fernandez, Alaska's news source.
Now, Alaska's news source reached out to Cook Inlet Tribal Council, who told ACLT about their funding being removed, but we have not heard back.
Well, still ahead, taking a look behind the scenes.
Our students get to see an amazing array of what exists in a hospital.
And tonight's Inside the Gates, we showcase the special field trip just taken by students at Service High School's Biomedical Career Academy, how it could reshape their future and the rest of us.
And getting ready for this year's Green Up. Hey, we're going to talk to someone who studies the changes.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Tonight, taking a closer look at what happens behind closed doors.
This week, Inside the Gates, Quinn White joins students from Service High School's Biomedical Career Academy on their special field trip to visit the hospital on J-Bear.
Most places in the civilian world are off limits. So they invite us in, they give us a tour, they put together different careers and different levels of career, and our students get to see an amazing array of what exists in a hospital.
From emergency services to radiology, students met with professionals in every corner of the hospital.
I love to see how my students' knowledge plays out in real life. So what they've learned about the heart, now they're hearing from the nurse about the EKGs, or what they've done with like blood pressure, then they get to see it on a sonography. Every station we went to, the vocabulary terms that the career was discussing, the students were, their little eyes were lighting up. They knew what they were talking about.
Just seeing, the interactions between people here has been really inspiring.
Different career paths and different ways they can take to get there.
I didn't know how many career opportunities and different fields that were available in the military, and I didn't know how many different pathways, including medical pathways, that you could go on to, and I think so that was really eye-opening.
The biggest takeaway is knowing that there are so many people that are able to support you on your pathway, and there's so many different paths you can take that you're not stuck for just one option.
Exploring different career paths today as these young professionals move towards bright futures.
But yeah, your hands look good. Okay. Like a hand area.
Quinn White, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.